Hi there, everybody. Welcome back. You are watching the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel, and you are looking at the underside of my Singer 201 Centennial Badge machine. So I've been going through the machine, and I've shown the 201 before. I've done a number of restorations on them. One of my favorite machines. It comes under that series, and what I noticed was kind of interesting. Sometimes you will see on sewing machines there will be a lot of times you'll see old sewing machine oil, and as it ages it gets sort of an amber color. You can see that here on these lower mechanical pieces, and sometimes uh, when I'm going through a machine trying to get it woken up, I need the pieces of the machine that are supposed to move against each other. I need those to be moving freely. So I always want to make sure that they, um, that we have good smooth movement. We don't have too much gumming up the works, as it were. And one of the things I noticed with this machine is unusual. It seems to have, I don't know if it got an extra coating of oil underneath. I mean, the amber color is normal for really old oil, but it seems like really, it almost looks like someone sprayed it on, which I find odd. And I have a lot of nice movement here. However, this of course is the lovely the thumb screw, the knurled thumb screw that Singer provided, where you would loosen this in order to lower your feed dogs. And I've shown this before. And again, it's just another way to get your feed dogs adjusted. And almost every one of these is often stuck, and I often have to work hard. In this case, I've got to work really hard because it looks like, I tell you, I don't know why it just seems to be more, it's not oily or greasy. In fact, I can rub my hand across it and I'm not pulling oil off. It almost as if, got sprayed with this oil, and it's really created a varnish. Maybe the machine was stored in a hot environment. I don't know. I mean, it's moving freely, except of course for the feed dog lowering mechanism. So hopefully to the rescue, I'm going to begin with valve oil. Valve oil, of course, being a mineral oil that's very thin, and it has a small amount of solvent added to it. If you're not familiar with what valve oil is and where to get it, I've shown this in a number of my videos. What is sewing machine oil video. I actually found it in a music shop because it's used for metal instruments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, let's get a little bit of a zoom here for you guys. I'm going to take the valve oil, I'm just going to put it right there. So I've got the where the thumb screw, let's get something to point with. Here is where the thumb screw meets this piece here, right? And so this is where we're going to see turning against this, hopefully. And then over here, I've also put some of the valve oil. I'll just, like I say, and it's dripping a little bit. It won't hurt anything. And that's what I'm going to do. It's very odd. I have a machine that's mostly happy to move for me, but it's got an awful lot of varnish, and more than I'm used to seeing. But it's okay. Not a big deal. I will be. I'm going to let this sit. In fact, I'm going to let the valve oil sit overnight. I'm not expecting it to go, to work miracles instantly, because this thing is really solid. I mean, it's not even thinking about moving right now, and that's all right. So again, eventually we will be going to sewing machine oil. And by the way, if the valve oil, which I consider to be sort of a mild penetrant, that's what I'm using it for. If it doesn't work, I have other penetrant products I can use. I've shared those with you all before. But we will get to the bottom of it, hopefully, and get everything moving. One last thing to mention here is that I am not going to be removing this varnish other than in the areas like where I've pointed where I need to get things moving. And why is that? You can, if you really want to, you can remove the varnish, but then you need to go back and wipe it down with new sewing machine oil, because remember, this oil helps protect a lot of these metal parts, and it has. One of the reasons you don't see nearly as much rust as you potentially could for a lot of vintage sewing machines is because a lot of the old oil that they were coated with when they left the factory, or oil that got on them when people were oiling the machines, that oil eventually changed form. It oxidized into a varnish, and it actually acts as a coating to help protect these parts from rust. Many of these parts are, some of them are nickel plated, some of them are not, but they were of course oiled when they left the factory. And so, again, this is part of the patina of the machine, and I personally think it's fine just to leave as is. You may have a different idea. You may say, I want it to look like it did when it came out of the factory and went into the showroom. And that's fine. Just remember, if you're going to remove any of this sort of old amber brown oil, you're going to want to actually go back with some clean, clear oil. And that is exactly what I'm going to do here, because I've been working on my needle bar and my presser bar here. I came in, this was all coated in that same brown amber color, and I went in with you have a couple options. You can use alcohol, 99% isopropyl, but got to, again, put some fabric down. Be really careful. Don't get any of that on your machine. It will dissolve the finish. I swear, do not do that. The other thing, of course, is when you're using alcohol, you use a cotton swab, because if you just moisten your cotton swab, as long as you're not flicking it around, it should hold on to that alcohol. But again, have a rag below. On this round, I actually chose not to use alcohol. I ended up using my Varnish metal polish, and the metal polish has a mild solvent in it that helps dissolve the old varnish. And the great thing is, it also polishes the metal all in one fell swoop. And when you polish metal, that also provides a nice barrier, a very thin coating of polish, which again helps resist oxidation and rust for the future. So there you go. Those are a couple of my observations about sometimes the old varnish. Old oil is not always a bad thing. You just don't want it in the areas of the machine where parts have to move, where you need things to have lubrication. So I hope this was helpful. If you are new to my channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And if you are new or not, if you find any of my videos helpful, please consider donating. You can click on the Buy Me a Coffee link. You'll find it on all of my videos and on the home page, and it'll take you right to my Buy Me a Coffee homepage there. You'll recognize the two-tone singer like you do here on the YouTube channel, and you can donate at whatever level you feel would be appropriate, and that would certainly help me in my efforts moving forward to rescue more of these wonderful machines and bring them to you here on YouTube. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.